So you know that quote from Rocky where Rocky's like, you grew up good, but somewhere along the way, you stopped believing in yourself. That's kind of how I feel. I used to believe in myself. I feel like I grew up halfway decent. Sure, I made mistakes. Who didn't? But I still believed in myself. I was still down to earth. And lately I've been feeling not so good about myself. I've been feeling kind of like a tool, like a loser, like a like a wannabe, I guess, like somebody I'm not. But I've also at the same time been realizing through this journey of trying to be somebody I'm not or whatever, trying to be whatever I thought might work, quote unquote, or whatever, through like trying YouTube and everything. It's also led me back to realizing that there was nothing wrong with who I was in the first place. And I had to go on this journey. I just had to go on. I mean, I had to learn the hard way, I guess, to believe in myself. But I dealt with anxiety. I dealt with panic attacks. Like I was always like I always was a little anxious in situations, and but never had anxiety like that. Just kind of nervous in like nervous situations. But I was always like an introvert too. But I had my group of friends. You know, I was like cool with the outcasts. I was cool with everybody, but I would never really fit in anywhere really. Kind of like a drifter, I guess. But I was always pretty confident in myself. But I always had these mixed feelings. I always had this extraordinary belief and ambition, and I also had this extraordinary doubt and, you know, shit, like whatever. I just never felt like I deserved happiness, success. Like I always thought I was gonna go out young for some reason. I guess it's the way I grew up. I don't know. Maybe the culture, the time period. I just didn't have much hope. I didn't have much vision out. And I guess I started to think, oh, I gotta be a different person instead of just a better version of myself. I started to think like there was something wrong with the person who I was. Uh, but I realized like there was nothing wrong with that person because that person was the down to earth guy that was just trying to get through life. But I wasn't. But I wasn't like trying to be a better person. And it's like now, after going through the journey, I feel good about myself, even though there's still lots of anxiety. There's still lots of like worrying how other people will see me that I'm trying to cut out. And the more and more I realize like that I'm like a pretty decent guy. I'm not a terrible guy. I'm not a bad guy. I don't try to like I don't try to be. I try to be a good person. The more and more I believe in myself, the less anxiety I have. The more and more I realize like it matters how I feel about myself, not how other people feel. It matters about the choices. You know, like there's times I feel like Harry Potter where he's talking to Sirius, and it's like, you know, it's our actions that show who we really are. And I don't I don't have bad actions. Sometimes I don't have any actions. I'm a bit of a procrastinator, and but then again, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good. I've been worrying about the wrong stuff, so I'm glad I procrastinated on some stuff. Um, like I've lived and learned. I know I don't want to be a gamer. You know, I never really. I was into games when I was younger, but then I got out of them, and I enjoy playing them every now and then. But I wouldn't want to be a gamer. But there was a time I was probably a little upset, like, oh, I wish I could do that for a living, or, when I see a businessman that makes millions of dollars a second sure, there might have been a thought like that would be nice, but that man could provide for his family, but it's like, is that man ever there for his family? I've always been very family oriented. I care, that's like what I care about the most. I care about the happiness of my family. You know, my fiance, we're a team, um, and she supported me, and I try to support her, and she struggles. She struggles with believing in herself and self confidence and all that. And I try to help, but it's called self confidence for a reason, because you really just got to believe in yourself, and it's easily said, harder to do. But I just want people to know that they're okay. It's okay. You don't have to be, you know. I think YouTube and stuff like that, like shows us everybody's life, and we're all caught up in everybody else's life instead of our own, and we're down, you know, down on ourselves, wishing that we could do this or that, instead of focusing on our lives and actually finding what we love and what fits us and doing it. And I mean, that's the journey I've been going on, it seems to it seems to be coming together. Like the better person I try to be, and the more myself I try to be, the more things fall into place. They just fall into place. So the more I'm myself, and the less I try to be like somebody else, the less I try to, you know, stress and control everything. I guess that would be a part of it too. Sometimes you just got to let life happen. You can't control everything. Sometimes things just aren't meant to be, and sometimes they are, and that's life. Um, I think everybody's expecting an outcome, expecting a certain outcome and getting upset when that don't happen. I don't know. Life's a mystery. I don't have all the answers. I know that. But I know when you don't believe in yourself and you feel crappy about yourself, or you're comparing, that's a horrible, horrible feeling. And nobody should do that. I don't wish that on nobody. And I guess if I had like one wish, if I could help like random strangers with anything, it would probably to feel better about themselves. I think that when you feel better about yourself, you could, like, there's so much good you could do for the world, and you can make others feel better about themselves. But or you could try to help. But I think it's the sad part is I think it comes down to the individual, because it don't matter. It doesn't matter what you have. There's people with money and all this, and they're still miserable because they thought that money would fill that hole of believe it. That and it could be anything. Maybe their dad didn't care about them, and they think, oh, if I get money and show him, then he's gonna be like, wait, well done, and then that doesn't happen. I don't know. I'm not a therapist, but I I guess I'm gonna live my life and be me, like no matter what that means. If that means I do YouTube, whatever that looks like, then great. But if it doesn't work out, fine. I'll still be doing other stuff. I'll still be living life, because sitting here, looking at analytics over and over every time you post a video, it can be pretty exhausting, but the creative side of it, if you could actually get into it and ignore all those voices inside your head. Sometimes Roman had a video where this guy was weed eating, and he's like, as soon as I'm done with this video, he's gonna stop. And sure enough, as soon as he was ending it, the person stopped. And sometimes I feel like that just happens, which is weird. Some people might think we're in a simulation, but I think that the less you have those voices in your head that sit there and say, oh, you should be like this, you should do this because this works, or unless you love doing what works, then then all right. If you actually like to do what works, then fine. But if you're just trying, if you're miserable and you're trying to do what works and you're not enjoying it, and then it doesn't work, you're gonna be like triple, double miserable, and it's just miserable. Like, you're better off just trying to do what you love, and actually, therefore, you would want to put in the time and effort. And I guess that's what I'm gonna try to focus on. I don't know exactly what that looks like yet, because it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey with these mental struggles, I guess. Overall, I've always felt pretty confident about myself, but through this journey, I've just felt the lowest I ever did, and now I'm feeling confident about myself, and it doesn't, all this other stuff that I thought mattered doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter as much. Family matters. And I'm upset at myself. I'm upset at myself for the time I've wasted thinking about stuff that didn't matter. I don't know. I think that's a big thing too. Focusing on what is important to you. I think that's a big part of happiness, is being able to focus on what you care about. I think if you have no time to focus on what you care about, and you have to spend most of your time doing all this shit you don't want to do, you're going to be pretty miserable. But if you find time to maybe have a hobby or something, put some, try something, put some work into something, life isn't about trying to find something that works and then just doing that same thing for the rest of your life so you collect this money or whatever, this clout. There's more to life than that. There's so many experiences that people are gonna just miss, including myself, and it scares me every day, because I'm like, people just get caught up in it. People get caught up in a routine. People get caught up in a cycle. Next thing you know, they've done the same thing for 30 years. And they're old. And their lives passed them by, and they spent it being stressed out or unhappy or trying to be somebody else, or doing something they're not happy about. I mean, these are the things that keep me up at night. That stress me out. But I feel like I just thought of something earlier. They say God doesn't give you anything you can't handle, and I wish I would have thought that sooner, but better now than never, right? I mean, so now I'll try to apply that to everything. When I'm going through hard times, I'll say to myself, I could handle this. But I guess it doesn't mean I should intentionally put myself in hard situations either. um, I gotta stop kicking my own ass when it comes down to it. if I was, if I wasn't lazy, I would put the scene from Liar Liar in there, where he's like, "I'm kicking my own ass." Ah, shoot. I like those little clips, but sometimes they're overused. And I'm trying to be original here, but you guys seen the video. You guys know what I'm talking about. Thank God for movies and stuff like that. Songs. You know, I doubt this video is gonna get out there. I don't know if the algorithm really likes this type of stuff or what. I don't know what they like. I don't know what it likes. She is a mystery. I don't know. But I think I'm done rambling. I gotta go try to get some sleep. Like I said earlier, actions speak louder than words. And I've been doing a lot of yapping. You know, most of these videos have been me just trying to like almost like therapy sections for my or sessions for myself. You know, manifesting, like trying to put this stuff out there to be a better person. But like I explained earlier, like I was trying to be something I'm not instead of being a better version of myself, and now I know better, but it has helped. It has helped. It's been one big learning process, but if I never went through it, I don't know where I would be. I don't know if I would be better off or not. I don't think so. I was closed-minded. And I wasn't trying to be a better version of myself. I don't think there was anything wrong with myself. I just wasn't able to, like, I had to try something. I had to try. I don't know. I only made this channel because I wanted to make it to 1,000 by doing a short every day, and I did. So, I mean, I set a goal and I did it. I mean, after that, I had no plans for it. So, I thought maybe I'll find out when I get there. But it became this journey of, like, me trying to speak this healthier, better version, better lifestyle into existence. And partially it worked and partially it did happen, but I still struggle with staying up late, stressing, worrying too much. Same thing as stressing, but just not focusing on the right thing. The right things. I still have hard days where, because I'm not, like, I have anxiety now. Like, I'm worried what people are thinking, and the more and more I feel good about myself, the more I realize I'm okay. Like, the more that goes away, but I still have that sometimes, and other times I care less. It's weird, but I don't want to be like poor me this whole video. I probably have been, but I think a lot of people probably struggle with this. They might not think about it. Everybody has a different perspective. It all, like, my perspective is constantly changing. I'm trying to constantly better my perspective and be the best version of myself I could be. But I want that version to be my version, not like something I think the internet would like, and I want I guess I want people to know that it's okay to be you. It's okay to be you. I didn't know that. Like I did in the beginning. And somewhere along the line I lost that. And now I'm finding it again. And I think the internet had a big thing to do with that. Like not just YouTube, but like social media in general. The fact that I've had a phone in my pocket since I was a teenager. I've been looking at this phone for so long. It's like, what effects has that had? How much of all this stuff is from that? From looking down at other people's lives? I'm sure 90% of it. So now at 32 years old, I'm finally, I guess, I have to put down the phone, I guess. I have to put down YouTube. Actually, I have to actually try to give it a break, not because I've been working too hard or posting too much fire content or no, but just because I need to, and this isn't like, oh, I need a break. No, it's just like I need to focus on reality. I need to focus on reality so that I could know which direction is best for me and my family to go, and for this channel and for the content. And if it makes sense to post or to make content around that, then I will do that. But if it doesn't, I guess I'm not going to make content just for the sake of trying anymore, just to see what would happen. I mean, a lot of it I thought, hey, maybe somebody needs to hear it, and perhaps somebody still does, and perhaps the videos are there, so perhaps people could look back and sure, some of them I'm embarrassed about. I spoke my mind at the time. My mind has changed a bunch, but overall, I remain the same person in general. I've never really shifted too much, thank God. I never sold my soul. I never freaking anything. I don't know, but whatever. It's not like I was famous and whatever. I just tried. Anyways, this is too much. But life could also be worse. I could be in debt. I could have a degree in something I don't care about. I'm always trying to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. Ozzy said his cup's empty because he drank it all. I thought that was a pretty good line. But no, like I said, I'm a laid back person, and as long as things are okay and we got food and stuff like that, the bills are paid, I'm fine. But there has been this just ambitious side of me that believes I could be anything I ever wanted. Like, but I didn't try. I didn't believe that. And that's from my childhood or something. Somewhere along the way, I lost confidence. Or I never had it. But I mean, I always think I was pretty full of myself when I was a teenager, but not too full of myself. I always thought I was pretty humble, but now that I look back, I think it might have been more like afraid to be who I am. Afraid to show who I really am and just be like what I want, talk about what I want to say, what I want without, and don't care what people think. Not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna like me. A lot of people are gonna hate me, but that's fine. I mean, But my goal as well is to be a person that very few people would hate. I don't want anybody to hate me. I don't want to give anybody a reason not to like me. And I don't want to not like anybody else unless they give me a reason. So, but I was thinking, instead of, because I've always treated people how they treat me, and I think I'm going to start treating people like I want to be treated, which I think I have, but I also have always said I treat people how they treat me, so perhaps I should just start treating people how I want to be treated regardless, and if they treat me bad, fine, but I don't know, it's just something I was thinking about, because oftentimes, people will treat us bad and that's it, but I've had some people where I've had confrontation with them, and then after that confrontation came understanding, and so I don't know, maybe some people will see my video or a random video and be like, I don't like that guy because of something I said, and then maybe they'll see a different video and say, oh, I guess I was wrong about him. He doesn't seem too bad. I don't know. I don't know. I know I'm a decent person. I know I'm not a piece of crap. And you just gotta keep living. Livin. Or does it say Livn? I think it says Livn. I don't know, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. I guess I'm gonna post this at some time. I might just post it as soon as I get off. It'll probably take a couple hours to upload, but it's pretty late. I thought there was a freaking ghost in here earlier, but whatever. I think it might have been a snake. I don't know. There was a snake in here a couple days ago. Alright, yeah, I'm rambling. Y'all take care. Thanks for watching if you made it to this point. And, yeah, just believe in yourself. No matter what. If you know you're a decent person, and you try to do the best you can, and you don't do bad stuff, you're not a dick, and you try to be a good, then it's okay. You're okay. I believe in you. And I'm saying it's okay for you to be who you are. So that might not mean much to you because I'm a complete stranger, but just know somebody loves you. Somebody cares about you. Somebody believes in you. Even if nobody around you does. I believe in you. As long as you're a good person. Now, if you're doing shitty shit and being a dick or whatever, I can't have your back. But if you're a good person, believe in yourself. So that's my rant. Y'all take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching.